Boy, you really don't notice how much everything in your house is covered with cat hair until you start putting some objects in a little box and shining bright LED lights upon them. I apologize. Boy, a lot of the shorts I put out this week had cat hairs in them. I don't know. No one's watching as close as I am. That's for sure. So, this is, who is this? This is Legacy United Leader Class Soundwave. The first thing I want to point out is this. There's a little bit of that clear red translucent plastic. Again, maybe I'll say this again. I'm so new to this. I don't know anything. Everything I'm seeing here on these toys, I'm seeing for the first time. This might be a billion years old news to anyone, to everybody out there. But anyway, because of that translucent piece, that's the same piece of plastic that is his eyes. So if you got a light shining on him from above, it lights his eyes up a little bit as the light shines through that plastic. And I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff about, I'm going to do a whole video. One of my upcoming videos will be why the modern figures are so cool. And, you know, I'm starting to figure out, well, I still don't understand. I still don't know why all of a sudden I've decided to collect toys. Because I have no experience. I should start every video with saying that I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, here's Soundwave. Let's talk about him. This Soundwave has a lot of things about him. Oh man. So there are a bunch of really cool things. Like the light up. I think it's so cool. Like, come on. Yeah, a bunch of cool features, including the fact that I've decided that this is my favorite feature. You know what? I have notes today, but I'm not going to address any topic in any particular order because, who cares? I've decided that of all the gimmicks and mechanics, combinations, and things that these toys have done, the thing that I think I like the most currently and want to have a lot of are cassettes. I think the cassette mechanic is so cool. I already talked about these cassettes, and I talked about the fact that this guy doesn't really function all that well, even with Laserbeak. Let's see. Let's just for science. I don't know if anyone's noticed, I always forget to fold that silver hump back up when I have Laserbeak transformed. So I think this is the best way to do it, because you want to avoid that thingy in there, that gray thingy. Sometimes Laserbeak pops open, no problem. There we go. But sometimes he doesn't. Ravage almost always does. What's not Frenzy's name? Rumble doesn't quite eject either. This is the biggest thing, and this is hopefully unique to my copy, is that there's supposed to be a piece right here. You may picture Soundwave from the cartoon. You probably don't picture him with this rifle on his back. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what cartoons. There's like a billion. I don't know if I am gonna do a series where I watch the movies with my friend Locke, who might like these toys as much as I do. But anyway, this is supposed to, peg in here, and it does not. And there's a lot of things about these battery pieces that I do not like. This one, is supposed to transform into this for, to use as a weapon, which, that's fine. Whatever. That's cool. I like that. I've mentioned that I like it when the weapons and accessories have some kind of transforming functionality or combining. And just, these 5 millimeter pegs just make that all the more synchronicitous. I don't know. But this is flimsy. Like, it kind of just, and it also, yeah. There's nothing in there that clicks or stays in or anything. I guess it does kind of stay in that position, but I don't know. We'll talk more when he's transformed about this and the fact that this falls out, and I don't know where this goes when he's transformed. In the original, and I got a story about an original Soundwave also. Boy, I got so many stories about Transformers throughout. This is going to be my autobiography as told through Transformers toys that I encountered. I was telling someone a story last night how one time I was in a room with a Unicron. The one from was it 2003, 2002? Jesus. The original Soundwave, these batteries went into a battery like compartment in the back, which was super cool. In 1984, 1985, I thought that was one of the coolest things, that his weapons went into the battery compartment. I loved it. These, well, we'll get him into, we'll transform him, and then we'll talk about that some more. But this piece is missing. Probably unique to my copy. I ordered this, I got this in the mail, so it's not like, when I go to the store, you know, let's take a look at the package for a sec. So, these boxes have a big open portion. And like when you see them in the store, I've seen guys in the store in these boxes that have the heads removed. And like an absent-minded person like me could very easily, you know, pick one of these up and get home with a robot with no head. So like, yeah, you could reach it. People could reach it there and pull parts out, which, you know, sucks. So anyway, I don't really think that's what happened here because, you know, I mean, you know, it could have been in a store before Amazon, but who's going to reach in and pull out that little plastic plug that goes in there? Now, I was talking about 3D printing it, and at first I didn't realize that it's going to be a little tricky because I'm going to have to 3D print where that tabs in right there. Although this transforms fine and that piece stays closed even without that tab being present. But, so I could just leave it more open is what I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can print a piece. I wonder if it's available. I wonder if like some printer on the internet has it and I can just order it. Probably. Let me know if that's the case. So I should say, if I'm reviewing this, that this is great. It's obviously great. I love it. I love this toy. It was a huge part of what made me realize, yeah, I had this guy, Devastator, and Skywarp on my shelf for months. And I would just occasionally take them down, like while I was watching TV or, you know, whatever, and fucking fiddle with them. So awesome. I'm really glad I have this. I was really excited. Oh, you know what? While we're here, since I talked about this in the shorts, I'm going to point it out, and we're going to talk about features of the new toys that I think are really cool. But these ankle joints are one of the most crucial things in these new figures because, yeah, a lot of the old Transformers could not stand that well, and especially not if, you know, they were in any kind of... And, you know, there was a lot of any kind of natural leg gapping, kind of, I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but, you know, a lot of them would transform by having their legs straight together, and that was like the alternate... In the alternate mode, the legs would be locked together. And so then when it transforms, you kind of want to split them up a little bit, but then the feet are at a weird angle, and it doesn't stand, but these guys are a lot better. Of course, nothing really stands too well in this little white box, but those angled feet, I'll point them out again. There are certain instances where they are really, really clutch, including the fact that those Dynaforce Warriors, they don't have joints, but their feet are just angled so they could all stand at a natural kind of pose. The term contropasto is in my head. What does that mean? I don't think it's what I'm talking about. I think that's like a natural stride in a pose when it's like a classical shit. Let's all right, let's get this show on the road. What I'm saying is that this figure is great. I love it. I want to get many Shockwaves because, like I said, I'm obsessed with the cassettes, and there are many Shockwaves that hold many different formats of cassettes. Like the Bumblebee Shockwave has a whole series of like more bricky cassettes and blah 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 blah. Maybe I'm talking about what's going to be in the next video right now. This I think is funny that this is like the robot form crotch piece, and then this is the transformed form crotch piece. I almost feel like you could have figured out how to do that in one piece. Oh, the feet go away. That's what I was in the process of doing. So I'm pointing out that I think this is great. And you know what? If you've been following this toy line for 20 years and you've seen like 15 of these Soundwaves, this part tabs in right here, and it's kind of tight, but it's good because this kind of adds some pressure, like the feet want to come out. So when you tab it together, it really like feels solid, which is unfortunate in a minute when I talk about how when the whole thing's together, it becomes less solid. But I do like this at this point. Very satisfying. Looks like a good portion. Like the front of the boombox the whole thing is great. But yeah, so I mean, the Soundwave and the cassettes and Blaster are definitely characters that I'm going to have, and I already did this with, that I'm going to have multiple, figures of, versions of. And so again, both of these parts, both of these parts tab into a piece that's missing because of this thing. But that gold part tabs in just fine. And this is pretty good looking, pretty solid. This is I don't know which I should talk about first. Let's put the back together, and because I do not like this piece. So anyway, yeah, his hands go away, obviously. But this all kind of this tabs together and clicks in, but it kind of just all sticks out on the back here. And that's not like crazy uncommon. A lot of Transformers have a bunch of extraneous crap. I mean, whatever I was talking about with Snarl last week with the stuff sticking out of Dino King's leg. So this tabs in pretty I should say. All that stuff back there tabs in pretty okay. It's not super straight. It's pretty good. It likes to pop open, which we're gonna see. I'm positive we will see when I start messing around with it. But I mean, this is fine. This is a fine stereo boombox mode. I think this from the front it looks great, and it does even look great when I do what I'm about to do, which is this. This is the last portion of the transformation, and for some reason I feel like this whole assembly, you can see that it's a tiny bit bent. Again, I keep noticing when things are just a tiny bit out of alignment, but because of this, it's almost like a little bit too small when it tabs in, and it actually pulls, like, look, I'm being so overcritical right now, but like pretty good. I mean, this again isn't completely straight, but the whole front of this, the main boombox part, pretty together, pretty tabbed together, pretty straight. When I put that, look at that. When I click those two tabs in right here, it gets pulled apart. The whole thing. And in fact, this is even more likely to pop open now. This piece, look, you can see the whole thing is out of alignment. This piece puts pressure on the rest of the figure, and it's really too bad. Too bad that this is happening. Too bad that this is missing. And the batteries, boy, it would have been cool if they went into a compartment, but basically there's two places they can go, and this is what I think is intended. Which, I mean, I do have the instructions. But I think, yeah, let's see how he stands up, because I think we want the red stripes to be up. And again, just me putting any pressure on it, this is popped open, which it's likely to do whether this is engaged or not. So, it would be help him stand if he wasn't. Look, cat hairs. Yeah, this thing also, this surface, just, this cat hairs like cling to it. It's like they're being pulled into it like a black hole. Crazy. And did I stick them? Yeah. So, and again, they're poking, like this is what's intended. And they're poking, there's even more crap poking out of the back now, is kind of what I'm saying. And this is pretty good. But it's so close. It is so close to looking like you could take them with this lower socket here and use the other end of the battery and put them in here. And this is where it gets to the point where I say gravity always pulls that out, because this obviously looks very silly, but nonetheless, just because of maybe even just because of this design, that this doesn't go all the way in. Because doesn't that look a little bit better? Even, obviously, they should be in a compartment. I mean, I don't know, they shouldn't. It's not like they should be in a compartment, but this looks much better as far as, the structure of the boombox. But, and you know what? Because this thing is floppy, it sits a little better in here. But this does not sit good on the shelf. Yeah, kind of okay in this floppy surface. Let's see. Let's take them out for a minute. All right, so that's with the two where I feel, yeah, so you can see, yep. And it's maybe it's not this one that's like actually poking it. No, it is, because this one is not as high. Yeah. Anyway, I'm really fiddling now. I'm really picking at fiddly bits now, but those are the things that I don't like about it, which feels like a lot of things. It feels like that's a lot of things I'm saying that I don't like about it, but of course, I did not have an original Soundwave. I always wanted Soundwave. I did have cassettes. I'm so just jazzed that I have any Soundwave figure. I really want to get one of the core class ones. Soundwave and Sound Blaster are in core class. I don't know if there are other versions of them, but there are so many versions of Soundwave. I almost bought a movie version that turns into a car in the Target the other day. But look at this. Terrific. I love it. Here is my current collection. I will be reviewing all of these guys and anyone else that arrives. And yeah, and I guess also talking about collecting in general and how I feel about it. Do me a favor and like and subscribe or whatever, and check out koyadk.tv for to follow on Blue Sky and Instagram and whatever. And yeah, come and talk to me on Discord. Thank you.